They've been everywhere from Charlotte, North Carolina to Cleveland, Mississippi, which is Pete Golding's old stomping grounds. He's not from there, but he played at Delta State, right? Yeah. South Louisiana guy, but played at Delta State.
Oh, they claim him.
Yeah. When I really got to get, if y'all want to get to know, so to speak, Golding, now, granted, he's been talking to the press all the time since he became the head coach a couple of days after the battle for the Golden Egg last year, right? But the interview that he did last year at the Delta State Golf Invitational alumni something, that he walked you through Lane's whole blueprint. I mean, gave you the whole blueprint. It was an unbelievable interview of the who, how, who, what, when, where, and why. I watched it more than once, and I talked about it. I thought it was incredible. Plus, you don't get them. Lane had the Saban deal where you only got the coaches, like once a year. Now, during the college football playoff, well, he was already the head coach. Never mind. I was about to say, you get them in the college football playoff, but that's a different deal because Lane was already gone. All right, we are the Out of Bounds. Trip on the text line said, Bo, is it possible to insult Jackson? God knows you've tried enough.
It's impossible.
He's got a pretty thick coat. Yeah.
That's Yeah.
All right, let's finish that live endorsement. We're powered by Total Transportation of Mississippi, TotalMS.com, TotalMS.com. We had a gremlin in the system. We're 105.9 The Zone ESPN. I am your host, Bo Bounds. I want to thank y'all for going to Spotify and listening to Mike Detillier, Steve Robertson, Tom Lugan, Bill, Dave Bartu, Jeff Duncan on Drew Brees, all the G5 teams. That eats up at least one, if not two spots. Notre Dame has the easiest schedule. I mean, they said, we've got you. We'll trump you to any other, Power 4 team. They've got a cakewalk to the college football playoff. That's another spot taken. So then we're getting into there's not many spots left if Notre Dame and 1 to 2 G5 teams are going to make it. This was Dave Bartu 3 years ago talking about if the SEC goes to a 9-game conference schedule. What did you make of, and you went on a tear yesterday in between your hoops betting on Twitter, which was awesome. I love it when you get all fired up. What did you make of not just Dellinger, but of where we are going here, maybe going to 9, maybe staying at 8?
Okay, so basically everything that I could think of that I was tweeting about yesterday. So what the first thing I did is I took what Ross had posted in terms of what the 3 teams are projected for 3 permanents. Now, as for going from 8 to 9, regardless of which 3 teams they are, okay, let's put that aside, which 3 teams and Nick complaining about it. Let's put that aside just for a second. There's a few things that I have about that is, number one, why? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, right now, it doesn't matter what anybody does, okay? It doesn't matter what the schedule is for State or Ole Miss. It doesn't matter what it is for Alabama or Auburn. Everybody is going to complain about it, right? It doesn't matter.
Sure.
Everybody's going to complain about it. Change, no change. One of the things unless you win a national title in the SEC, everybody's complaining about the season for the most part, right? So, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You're at 8. You've been winning national titles. That's the goal. And now that we have expanded playoffs, you want to go to 9 and limit your opportunities? That's dumb. Because also when you go to 9, you can't go back. So we're in the middle of change, of going from 4 to possibly 12-team playoff, and your conference wants to make a change right in the middle of a major playoff change. That doesn't seem very bright to me. I don't care what the money is. You don't know what's going to come out of this new playoff system. And to make a change, basically you're changing lanes in the middle of the intersection with traffic coming the other way. I don't think that's a very good idea.
I agree.
Because once you go there, you can't come back.
Right.
And you don't know how this is going to play out. Now, if you make the change, here's a few things I think that are the one wild card is which game are you changing on your non-conference? All right. Is Mississippi State adding Texas and dropping the Bahama School of Dentistry? Or are they adding Texas and dropping Arizona? Okay. There's a huge difference there in terms of strength of schedule. There's a huge difference there in terms of projecting win totals. Does the SEC want to go total isolationism and go, I'm going to build a big wall around the SEC. We're not playing anybody but us in here, and we're fine on our own, which would totally, utterly suck, okay? And I don't think they'll do that. But if they don't, their strength of schedule rankings are going to be through the roof. Their injury rate, it's already the highest injury rate per snap in college football, the SEC, with 8 conference games. You go to 9, guess what? More bigger, faster guys hitting each other. You're going to have a higher injury rate than you already have right now. You're going to have less top 25 teams. Why? Because you're beating yourself up unless you make the non-conference super cupcake. And if you have less top 25 teams, that means you're taking yourself out of playoff opportunities. Adding that 9th game without making your non-conference terrible is putting yourself in a position with the new playoff format that I think is a poor one.
All right, that was part 2 3 years ago on the 9-game conference schedule in the SEC. You now have it, plus the mandated Power 4 non-con is still in place, so all of you will play 10 Power 4 games. 10 Power 4 games, and now down to 2 non-cons against whoever, right? Tennessee Tech or Florida Atlantic or Tennessee State, Youngstown State. I'm looking at the first week of the SEC. Arkansas plays North Alabama, UAPB, Kent State, and South Carolina, Furman, and Tennessee. So
Nice.
y'all know where we're going there. But now you have 10 Power 4 games. The question is, what can you do there? You got to go 2-0 in the whatevers, G5s, 1AAs. I don't even know what they're called. D2. And then first of all, the physicality goes up. Bartu's already told us it's the most injured conference. Then you add a game. And so how do you navigate that? There's a lot going on. And again, we won't know all the answers after year 1. We'll need at least 3 or 4 years maybe to get an idea of the who, what, where, when, and why on the impact. It'll never go back once they decided, this group may regret it. I guess with an expanded all the way up to 24, you're definitely fine because, you'll take a boatload of SEC teams. So you'll just have a ton of 9-3 teams going to the college football playoff. It'll look, again, we're going to have to wire our brains around the NFL where 9-8, now you play 17 games. For the majority of my life, it was 16, some a little bit less than that early. But and we've had teams with losing records, 7-9, 8-8.
Yeah.
When we were playing 16 go, 8-9 can still go. But y'all know where I'm going. 9-8 can get in the playoffs and 10-7. And so it's going to be tough for us as guys we're not good on change, and especially on sports. We cap out at about 16 years old on what we think and kind of landscape of sports, both our skills and everybody else's, and then what we think about the teams that we love. So I think this is going to be wild. But once they expand the playoffs, you should be fine. I guess you could have up to, good Lord. I mean, when you get to 24.
Whole conference is going.
Right. I mean, are you going to have
10.
7 teams sometimes? 8 teams? And is it going to trickle down to 8 and 4? I mean, I think it could. I mean, you have teams in the top 25 that are ranked 18th, 21st, and 24th that don't have just magnificent records. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to come up with. I would think that eventually the Big Ten and the SEC get on the same page. And they're going to, I don't know if we're going to slowly get there, 16, 20, 24, go straight to 24, do 16 for a couple years, maybe skip 20, maybe grab it for another, and then go to 24. You know, TV inventory, they want live sports. They're chomping at the bit. I think that's a good, will we go to 8 and 4 college football playoff teams? That would not surprise me if you go to 24 teams.
Extend it one more.
You got to feel. I think 8 and 4 Big Ten and 8 and 4 SEC could be in play. I don't know about Big 12 and ACC. I'm not sure that's going to be enough pop and sizzle.
Well, it depends, I guess, who's on the committee.
Yeah, and I don't know why they're still doing this. I think that you've got 2 super leagues already. You do. It's called the SEC and the Big Ten. And then you've got 2 pretty good leagues. I mean, they're still fun to watch. They still have some good games throughout the year in the Big 12 and the ACC. I mean, they have a lot. I mean, the super leagues have some stinkers, but the Big 12 and ACC have a bunch. But they've got some sizzle and some fun games too. They
do.
Could this get to the point where 8 and 4 teams make a 24-team college football playoff? I want to say yes.
Just to give you, I guess.
Yeah, I really do. I mean,
why wouldn't they?
well, okay, are you going to have 6 to 7 Big Ten and SEC teams?
Yeah.
So you just gobbled up 14 spots.
Right. 2 mid-majors.
But then you still have 10 spots.
And Notre Dame.
Two mid-majors and Notre Dame. I'm at 17.
Right. Yeah,
and then we have 7 spots to fill out the ACC and Big 12.
Like last year.
At 3 to 4 apiece.
Mizzou and Tennessee were 8 and 5 last year. That's what they finished.
Well, Vanderbilt and Notre Dame were the ones
that
won 10 games and got left out.
They'd have been a slam dunk in, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, they're so in, they're in.
Man, they won 10 ball games in the league.
And both of those were capable, although not like super great teams, but not bad at all.
Oh,
they were both capable of winning first-round games.
Well, yeah, yeah, they could have played James Madison.
Right, or Tulane or Boise or SMU. These are teams that have made the college football playoff the last couple of years that got embarrassed, good Lord, that were snoozers. I mean, those games aren't interesting.
How many times does it take for that to like really hammer home what's really going on? Like, do we need to keep doing this? Are they going to roll this out year after year after year?
I think the question that you're asking is, will the SEC and Big Ten, along with the TV network, still be, as we expand, still be okay with G5 teams in it? That's, I think, or do they want to fund a Final Four and just say, we'll fund it, it'll be more interesting, it makes more sense. We'll do a Final Four of G5 teams so Coastal Carolina can play Lafayette and Troy can play Memphis in a Final Four. People would bet on it, watch it over Christmas holidays, because I promise they will, because you're bouncing around, you're doing things, and if football's on, it's at least in the background. And it'll be on bars and restaurants throughout the country, blah, 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 which is also they take that into account too.
Vegas would get plenty of action, and the eyeballs would be there.
Right. And you still get some money. Simple. But I don't know. Maybe they just say we're gonna allow them to be in, and we're not going to have interesting games most of the time when they're in.
Depends on how many SEC
like UNLV. Like, what if Dan he won 10 last year, okay? Yeah. So let me walk you through this. Dan Mullen, UNLV.
Ooh.
In an expanded college football playoff, if he goes 10-2, he's in. But let's be honest, who all can UNLV beat? Maybe a Big 12 or ACC team that slips in?
Absolutely can.
Possibly?
Surely. Well, I mean, if you're looking at that 18 to 24 range.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, if they somehow
the 20 to 24 range, 18 to 24 range, I
eat.
guess a UNLV at
no doubt
10-2 could San Diego State,
you mean,
Coastal, Troy, Tulane, La Lafayette, Southern Miss, if they get rolling. Florida Atlantic has money and population and enrollment. Who am I missing? Could a MAC team get? Yeah, a MAC team is capable of going 10-2, 11-1, and getting in. Yeah, like Toledo or something.
No doubt. Yeah, Toledo. Yeah,
why hasn't Jason Candle been able to get out of Toledo? Why hasn't PJ Fleck been able to get out of Minnesota? These are questions that I ask myself as I'm on the shake plate.
Fair.
We are the Out of Bounds Show. We're driven by your next GMC Sierra truck at Fowler GMC, Pearl Brandon. All right. You know what wins championships? Talent. You know what hauls the grill, the coolers, and 4 buddies to the game? A GMC Sierra truck from Fowler GMC. Listen, I've been talking SEC football on this show for years. And I'll tell you, the guys who show up to the tailgate right are driving a GMC Sierra truck from Fowler GMC in Pearl Brandon. Best in class towing. That pro-grade bed and enough torque to get your boat to the lake before kickoff or to the hunting camp. Fowler GMC, Pearl Brandon, FowlerGMC.com. Go see them. Tell them Bo sent you. We love you. Good morning. Welcome in. Grab some breakfast biscuits from Fleetway Market and the Market Cafe in Gluckstadt. They're hot and they're fresh and they're waiting on you. Bacon, egg, and cheese right now. Don't grab one. Grab one for your buddy, for the office. Come on. And Fleetway Market and the Market Cafe in Gluckstadt. Fuel up there, too. I thought that was good with part 2.
Oh, yeah.
We'll go with Steve Dace on Michigan versus SEC culture. This was unbelievable. On the other side, we're going to do this. It's going to be really good. Some great audio. All right. And so we'll take a look at that on the other side. Mr. DX says Ole Miss could beat the Ole Miss Rebels. Oh, wow.
UNLV.
Could be yeah. UNLV could beat the Ole Miss Rebels. I don't think so. Nope. No. But where we were going, like, I don't know how a 24, like, I really need to know the quality of, or lack thereof, of the 18 to 24 on the back end that get in, and how many are going to be 9-3 teams, and how many are going to be 8-4 teams, and how many will be G5, and how that looks, so that if a UNLV and Dan Mullen win 10 games like they did last year, once this goes into effect, they'll have to play the first round game. Got more buys on the front end.
Sure. You could get matched up with another G5.
That's true.
You absolutely
I guess
could.
that would be the deal if UNLV plays Coastal or Tulane.
Right.
Or like TCU gets in.
Sure.
I think they could beat TCU.
Yeah.
Like if NC State got in.
Yeah.
Well, that'd still be maybe a little bit of a stretch, but possible. Barry Odom beat Power 4 teams. I don't know if Dan beat one last year. We'll have to look at that. The Out of Bounds Show is powered by Total Transportation of Mississippi. TotalMS.com. Apply today.
WRKS Pickens Jackson.
All systems go.
Live from the Whiskey 61 Lounge inside the Bank Plus studio.
This is Out of Order.
Live in the studio. It's the Out of Bounds Show with Bo Bounds. Streaming live worldwide on the Out of Bounds radio app. And on your radio at ESPN 105.9. All set? Let's go. The Zone.
I would say getting to Omaha is it's equivalent maybe to a Sweet 16 in basketball, maybe shotgun fire, maybe a round of 32.
And we're off. Out of Bounds, ESPN 1059 The Zone. I'm your host, Bo Bounds. Straight funk with me. People think that I'm giving him too hard of a time on the text line, which is 601-885-3776. We want to hear from you, Out of Bounds Nation. Give us the roll call. And, another question that I'd like to know is, do you tailgate? Do you have a tailgate in Starkville, Oxford, or Hattiesburg, or Tuscaloosa, or Baton Rouge? Do you tailgate? Some people don't. And some people have, and then they don't now. Some people didn't, and now they do. Are you in a tailgate? Tell me about it on the text line, 601-885-3776. That's powered by Dancing Rabbit Golf Club. And we're live in the Bank Plus studio. Show is brought to you by the Bone-In Filet at Kessler Prime and the Renaissance, KesslerPrime.com. To make a reservation. Also 6 private dining rooms that you can reserve for a party or corporate get-together. Again, Bo Bounds, Jackson Meadows with you. Jake Thompson, Ole Miss Insider, will join us at 8:30 on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. And we'll talk Ole Miss baseball, Hunter Elliott, of course, Townsend and Ray, first-round picks, they're gone. Some other guys, who's coming in, who's shuffling out, and then Ole Miss football recruiting, which is on a heater. One thing that Golding hasn't let slip is they are committed. Now, look, are they going to take a step back as far? I mean, when Lane was head coach / OC and Charlie Weiss Jr. was OC and Pete Golding was DC, I mean, that's a hell of a group.
Yeah.
Now you got Pete at head coach, which that's an unknown. Pete as DC, he's good. And John David Baker at OC, who's had one good year and one meh year. So it's a totally different staff, and no one knows how this will look. But because of the talent, it will be a very soft regression. Because when you got guys like Trinidad, Lacey, and other guys in that defensive line, you're going to win games. Now, according to Bar 2, Ole Miss has top 10. When you combine portal recruiting and high school recruiting, Ole Miss is right around 10. Wow. Mississippi State's 32nd. Minnesota's 49th, just to give you an example of Mississippi State's first tough game against Minnesota week 2 at Minnesota. Nice. You've got more talent. But P.J. Fleck has been a head coach for a decade or so, and he has the advantage, wearing the headsets over Jeff Levy. That was an understatement. But, Ole Miss has more talent than Louisville. Jeff Brom has the advantage as a head coach because of over a decade experience at Western Kentucky, Purdue, and now Louisville. Does that make sense, what I just walked through? Yeah. So now everybody's doing the hybrid, the combo of high school recruiting and portal, and coming up with your composite recruiter number and talent. Still difficult.
Yeah.
But, in fact, Bartu told me yesterday or the day before that he was running the numbers. Ole Miss has been the most successful program. He thinks he still wanted to run it through, sweep it through a few times, but Ole Miss has been the most successful program as far as landing transfers that actually are good and play and start. Which I'm not sure that it surprises you. I mean, Miami's done a good job. Oregon, Ohio State, Texas Tech.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, Indiana.
Sure.
I'm surprised, though, because Kurt Cignetti brought in 13 guys from James Madison year one. 9 of them started, but then he brought in other guys. That was just year one. Last year, I know he had a crew. I would have to believe they're not have to believe. They're in the top 5, too.
Yeah.
And I would think Miami's in the top 5. Ohio State's not going to have the numbers. Like, they would never go get 30 guys in the portal, 35. But when they get 7 to 12, they're getting the right dudes for the most part.
Yeah, sure. I can't believe you said something about
what did I say
3-4 minutes ago. Just the tailgating thing.
Oh yeah, I wanted to know if people tailgate.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm kind of surprised we've never had a tailgater of the year.
I don't know how we would do that, but that would be fun. I don't know what the criteria would look like, other than people sending pictures from the Grove and the Junction. But
I can tell you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can bring in the best dish from your tailgate.
Oh yeah,
we can tell you.
I know we got to get the food competitions revved up, and we got to either start with Rotel or something like that, and we'll give cash and gift certificates and all kinds of cool swag. I like your idea. Yeah, we want to know if you tailgate.
Yeah.
It's some people
Lost art.
No, I don't think so.
No,
I think people are still hardcore tailgating.
They are.
I don't think it's in fact, I think it's only
Bigger
every year.
Really? Yeah.
So yeah, I think some people are gung ho and some people just do a tailgate and keep it kind of just low key.
Yeah, real.
And then there's kind of everything in between.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like some people are scheduled out. Some people.
Oh no, people are scheduled out. I've never been on the group thing because Wendy said that I would
hate it.
Yeah. And I don't need to know who's doing what, who's missing the game, because whatever, I don't care. But she just said you would never be on, but she's like, you'd never be on group school text or any of that stuff.
No.
I mean, I don't need to know who's got a peanut allergy or whatever.
No.
I've got other things going on. I mean, right? I've got to have a Tito's espresso martini.
Right.
4:30 this afternoon.
Yeah,
Kidding.
priorities.
Anyway. But tailgating. It's fun, especially when it's not 130 degrees. It's fun.
It's fun when you're winning at 130.
Oh, I mean, Ole Miss has been having fun regardless. They've won 22 or 23 home game or whatever in the hell it is.
Something ridiculous.
I mean, it's something crazy.
It is.
Other than Kentucky at home, they've won every home game the last 3 years. So they have had a great time, whether they're sweating through you have to change your shirt every 20 minutes or what. Mississippi State's just tailgating to be around friends and have an ice cold beer,
camaraderie,
or a fantastic Tito's and lemonade, and have some good food.
Hey, you got to have something to look forward to in the game.
100%. Look, I've still had fun college football seasons.
Oh yeah,
but I'm watching.
Not on behalf of.
No, I mean there hasn't been anything interesting about Mississippi State football the last 2 years, or entertaining.
And now they disappear.
I mean, I love how people run around. I mean, they improved from 2 wins to 5 wins.
All
What are you?
right.
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of.
Loser mentality.
You're comparing the worst of my lifetime 2 years ago, the worst season in the history of the program, which is saying something. They've had some bad ones since I've been alive, and then you're comparing that to last year. That I can't do that. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. None.
Nope.
The Michelob Ultra caller line, 601-707-3750. We are the Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. If you're looking for that unbelievable piece of hunting, property, farm, you just want some acreage. Matt Anderson, Southeastern Land Group. Call him today. Matt Anderson, Southeastern Land Group will find your next piece of property in the Mississippi Delta or wherever.
on the turd, and it don't make it a Snickers.
I mean, I can't argue with that. I just can't. I thought about it. Right?
You can put sugar on the turd, and it don't make it a Snickers.
All right. We are the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Good morning. Welcome in. We got Jake Thompson coming up next, Ole Miss Insider. We'll hit Ole Miss baseball, Dom Decker, Hunter Elliott, and then Ole Miss football recruiting is on a heater in state and out of state, which they should be. They've been winning for a long time, and they're committed, and their staff works hard and diligently and is focused, and they worked over the break too. Ooh, that's an idea. So, and it showed as they cleaned up on some guys. There was some talk they didn't want a couple of the guys, and then they decided that they did. So they have rolled, that's for sure. Now, we can't wait to see what happens with the Pete Golding. I can't believe Pete Golding's head football coach at Ole Miss. The Pete Golding era at Ole Miss is here. He got a couple of games, 3 games under his belt last year, Tulane, Georgia, and Miami. And this year, boy, they start off that's a whole new speed than the last few years. When you play Louisville on a neutral field to start the season, no Furman.
No.
All right. No North Alabama. No La Monroe. Louisville neutral field. Then LSU at home 2 weeks later, and then at Florida the week after that. Lions and Tigers and Crazy Pills game, September 19th. The week after that, Ole Miss has to go to Florida, and John Summerall will make Florida better from the jump. So now when Florida plays Florida Atlantic
Nice.
to start the year, then they play Campbell, but they have a tough game before they host Ole Miss. They play at Auburn.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So they got 2 and at Auburn, and then they host Ole Miss, whereas Ole Miss will have had 2 physical games, Louisville neutral field, LSU at home. You see where I'm going? Game 4 is Ole Miss at Florida. Coming off of playing LSU.
Trap game.
Oh, major.
Yeah.
Major, because then Ole Miss takes a week off. But 3 of those first 4 are not slam dunks.
Oh, I mean,
Ole Miss has done such a good job, you feel like, of like playing Tennessee Tech and then Furman and then somebody to
Georgia
start the year.
States and all that.
Yeah.
Throw them in there. Were they at Washington State that one year?
Last year, Washington State at home. That was a good call by Keith Carter.
It was.
Wake Forest dropped them, or they were able. I guess it was an out clause, and they got out after getting smoked 2 years ago. And then Washington State they're a man without a country because they don't have a conference.
Right.
Although they're putting the pack, whatever the hell, back
12.
together. But as you know, Oregon State and Washington State got left out in the shuffle. And so when Arizona State and Arizona and, Utah and all them, Colorado went to the Big 12, and Southern Cal and UCLA and Oregon and Washington went to the Big 10, and Stanford and Cal went to the ACC, they were programs without a country. And Washington State needs games, so they went into Oxford and got beat. I mean, they played them pretty well, but they still nobody thought that Ole Miss was going to lose that game last year. We've got some tailgating stuff here. I haven't seen this. All right, who is this? Trip is on the Dancing Rabbit Golf text line, 601-885-3776. Let's switch gears here. Let's take a look at the text line. Tailgating. Yes, we have 40 families, Bo. We were the first tent on campus, and Templeton fought us on doing it. Wanted to know why. Enough said. Started out as the Jackson tent and is now the Kennel Club. Oh, I've seen your tent. west of the volleyball stadium and south of the SAE house. We have it catered each weekend. Well, that's the only way to go. I mean, who wants to take a bunch of food out there? Good hell.
For what?
I mean, maybe one dish, but I don't want to do that. Just call somebody.
And who's
call
bringing-
Two Brothers, call Taste,
Yeah.
call OOB's, and you're rolling. No doubt.
I mean, and then, like.
There was a lady that was doing it that we used for, or the ladies who do we're no longer in it. We retired. But, I mean, we may go back in, but we took a year off last year, and it was nice. I mean, plus, we were going to see Wilkes and Ella Hall. It was just a different deal. What was I thinking? Oh, the lady that Mike Leach knew. She had a cute name of her business. She was right behind, I'm trying to think what that place, anyway, that I know that her and Mike connected and he helped her and all that kind of good stuff. Because she got shut down during COVID. Anyway, Lee Dog says, we're usually at the Walk-On's tailgate in the Junction. Oh, it's by the big black Army TV truck. Yeah. You got to stop by. It's usually a lot of baseball players around the tent. I know where you're talking about. Yeah, I've seen, if it's close to where Mangum and TA and those guys are, I know where you are. We've walked through that spot before. Mississippi State has 3 home games in November. And we talk about that's, by then your season may or may not be over, but let me go through them. Here they are, back to back to back. So you could have some good weather. Vanderbilt at home November 7th, Auburn at home November 14th, Tennessee Tech at home November 21st. You get 3 home games of what could be phenomenal weather out of I don't think you've hit on that in a while. And that's where you want to do your tailgating, November. And then your second most tailgating, October. And then you want to try to make something up in September. Or just stay at your house condo or some awesome restaurant that's got AC. Or go into the stadium 2 hours before, like our friends let us do, and watch the other games.
Yeah, that's the move.
We got to get you you used to tailgate.
I used to
You used to be you enjoyed it. You liked going to the Junction.
Yeah, I love that.
You got to get get back up there this year.
I got to get there. Yeah.
Who is inviting Jackson Meadows to their tailgate? And you can wear a golf shirt. We'll get you a Peter Millar interlocking MSU from Luke Abney at the Rogue Men's Store, and you can wear that we're not going to wear a T-shirt.
All right.
Okay.
So do I charge a modeling fee for Luke?
Yes.
We
will build the tailgate.
Yes.
$100.
Love it.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who's inviting Straight Funk, Double Down, and ice cream drinks to their tailgate in the Junction this year? The text line is 601-885-3776. And if you don't take a picture when you're there,
dude, I'll do that
for the show. I'm not going to be with all of them. Your arms, everybody hug. Everybody gets together and does a kind of a group hug text. Pick. Yeah. You better do that.
It's got to be a framer.
Okay. Brad Martin says, is November a no mayo zone? You damn right. Look, we have started the trend for pharmaceutical sales reps, for tailgating, no mayo on the sandwiches. It's got to be on the side. Mayo doesn't travel. Never has. You were just fooled from the 1970s on. I'm sorry, I wasn't a part of that. Jake Thompson, Ole Miss football and Ole Miss baseball on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line.
I would say getting to Omaha is it's equivalent maybe to a Sweet 16 in basketball, maybe shotgun fire, maybe a round of 32.
We are the Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. We're driven by RPT and Rick's Pro Truck, 3 locations in the metro area. Don't forget that Casey, the general manager of Rick's Pro Truck, RPT in Gluckstadt, is a Notre Dame fan. So if they lose to any of the Division II teams that they're playing throughout the year this year, because that is it's a D3 schedule that Notre Dame has pulled, please go by Rick's Pro Truck in Gluckstadt and give him unfiltered you-know-what. All right? Notre Dame looks like they've got a cakewalk to the college football playoff. Now, Marcus Freeman is a good coach, and I like him, but they don't play anybody. I mean, I think their biggest game is Miami. Yeah, at home. All right. We're going to welcome in Jake Thompson, Ole Miss insider. He joins us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. We have a lot to get to as far as Ole Miss football recruiting and Ole Miss baseball with Dom Decker and Hunter Elliott. But I got to start with football. Golding and the group have been on a roll. Jake, who do you think is the best recruiter on the Ole Miss football staff presently? Is it Frank Wilson? Is it Golding? Is it someone else?
I think I think you can say for the first time in about 6-7 years, however long you want to say, that the head coach might be the best recruiter, at least when it comes to high school now. But he's got a slew of lieutenants, if you will, including Frank Wilson, who you mentioned, but also the addition of Terrence Metcalf to the staff and the connections he's obviously had in the state with, DK playing at Oxford, knowing high school kids, coaching at the junior college level. Terrence has been a wealth of an asset, and I think that's helped. And I think that's helped them get some of these offensive line guys. That's the biggest thing to me is that Ole Miss has had success not just at the high school level for the first time in a long time, but it's a lot of guys in the trenches, which has kind of been their knock of, well, they try to get guys in the portal and they either don't work out or they get, you're risking them getting banged up and you don't have depth. But that, they went in and pulled some top guys both on offense and defense at the line of scrimmage. And I think that's the biggest takeaway and the biggest positive I think people can get in terms of them maybe trying to finally build depth while also maybe getting some veteran guys throughout the portal, because you still have to do both. But I think the line is where you need to rely on.
Yeah.
Grassroots high school recruiting and keep them here for a few years.
That's a great point, Jake. Yeah. Okay. Jake Thompson, Ole Miss insider. Ole Miss football recruiting is on a heater. And he mentioned Terrence Metcalf. Of course, Frank Wilson has been at Ole Miss, but been at LSU many a times. And he was with Brian Kelly. But then when the whole flip-flop switch happened, Lane going to Baton Rouge, Frank was not retained, I guess, because of Kevin Smith, blah, blah, blah. And now Frank Wilson is with Pete Golding. You mentioned Terrence Metcalf. Also, Dante Moncrief was added to the staff in the last 6 months. Is that right, Jake?
Yeah. I don't know what his official title is, but he's been with them. He was kind of with them in some capacity, but been now more forefront, more vocal. And like you said, the last half year, maybe a year. But he is also a guy that's played a huge role, as you would expect, kind of on the offensive side or, in the receiving room. But he's also another guy that just knows Mississippi talent. And that's, I think Pete has said, I think he said it at the coaches clinic when he was down there last week, that, they've kind of cast a 5-hour net or radius of what they like to try to be most successful at recruiting. And in other words, trying to keep kids close to home, keep them in state or those just outside the state line, get them to North Mississippi. And as we've seen so far with this 2027 class, I mean, they've currently got the 2, 3, and 4 guys in the state, in Mississippi and a couple others in the state further down. And so that's the biggest takeaway. Then you got Keegan Croucher, the quarterback out of Tennessee, who is, I think, 6th in the state. So, I mean, that they're having that success that I think people wondered if they could keep in terms of just being in the fight for top players against top, blue blood, if you will, competition. And some of the guys that they've kept, they have won battles over LSU's, over Ohio State's and Alabama's and other schools like that. So I think that speaks to I think you've got a head coach who's probably more involved than the previous head coach was in terms of, day-to-day recruiting and the full official visit and being in there and talking. And obviously you let your point man that you have and kind of recruiting that specific player do a lot of it. But I think Pete's been in there and more involved than in previous times.
Yeah, no, I knew that going in. I knew it at Bama. I knew it when he was your DC and now your head coach, that Pete is lives, sleeps, breathes recruiting, which is a big piece of the puzzle. So let's go through this. For our listeners, Jake is referencing Mitchell Turner, Ben Jarvis Shoemaker, and Antonio Berry, among others, as big-time gets for Golding and Metcalf and Frank Wilson, all these guys. Now, this lineup is pretty strong. Think about this. Terrence Metcalf, Dante Moncrief, Kelvin Bolden, Frank Wilson, and there's more. That's a star-studded group of guys who are committed to recruiting 12 months out of the year. I think Kelvin Bolden is also a tremendous asset for the Ole Miss football program now that he's back in Oxford after going to LSU. How do you see it, Jake?
Yeah, no, he was instrumental when he was here first, and he was kind of the spearman, especially when they'd have like those theme weekends like all these schools have, those junior days, but they'd put a name to them and a theme and this and that. But Kelvin was really the spearhead of all that. And it was a tough, kind of hurt a bit when he went down to LSU and to Baton Rouge, kind of like when Austin Thomas did as well. But then Ole Miss got them both back. You can let dominoes fall and the tea leaves fall in terms of how they came back, when they came back. I think a lot of people can connect those dots, but getting them back in the fold is huge. And then, Austin Thomas is just as big kind of on the business side of things. He's the GM and kind of the one that's got to help navigate the NIL, I'm sure roster management and deals more with Walker Joneses of the world in that regard. But Kelvin is the guy that gets the kids here, gets them on campus, and then obviously helps, but lets the guys you just rattled off on staff and Pete kind of seal the deal if they're able to.
So according to Jake Thompson, Ole Miss insider, Pete Golding is the lead dog. Well, that's always good. Saban was. When your head coach is your most gung-ho recruiter, that's a good thing. They believe in it. They're committed to it. It's an 18-hour-a-day deal. That's the lifeblood of your program. So Metcalf, man, that's cool. Have you been able to interview Metcalf yet?
We haven't talked to him. We got to see him, glimpses of him in the spring and in the few practice windows we got. But He's out there. He's John Garrison's kind of second-hand man. He's an assistant coach with the O-line. And I think every O-line we've talked to has said that's just been another breath of fresh air. A guy that's had that NFL experience. Now, NFL changes and evolves, but he still knows what there is to succeed for these guys that want to try to take that step. And I think it's also just helped in just developing this O-line for now at the college level, because, it's always been the question mark and the cloud over the Ole Miss offense as it goes, as far as its offensive line can hold up and protect the quarterback and everything else. And I feel like, there's some question marks with this one right now, especially at tackle. But, what Terrence Metcalf's been able to do is just provide another aspect of teaching and coaching that, maybe Garrison didn't have just because he didn't have the experiences that Metcalf had. And it's been a good marriage so far.
Jake Thompson, Ole Miss Spirit, on 3. He joins us on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. We're talking Ole Miss football, and they have had a hell of a recruit. The last 6 months, they've been on a roll and really beefed up the high school recruiting, too. Did you go to any of the summer parties, Jake?
I went to last Thursday. I went to the Cleveland stop on the Rebel road trip just because it was the first or the only Mississippi one before we all head to Tampa next week. So I figured I'd go over, and it was a big deal. It was big as I thought it'd be, because it was Pete coming back to Cleveland, played at Delta State, coached Delta State, met his wife there. He's a Louisiana guy, but I think he'd call Cleveland, quote unquote, his second home, if you were, just for everything that he went through and the opportunities he's been given because of it. Big turnout, big crowd. And like you said, he was just a salesman up there on the stage and, inside the Grammy Museum, which is, nobody's asking me to plug it, but that's a tremendous place. I had not been since they opened it. So that's a tremendous building just in its own right. But Pete, like you said, just talk ball. One guy at the very end, there weren't a lot of questions. I think they got more questions at Dallas last night, but the one question that Pete was asked was a guy that just said, "Hey, can tell us about defense, and you're asking Pete Golding to talk ball, you better sit down there for a while because we've all experienced that ourselves. And he gave a dissertation, that I can't remember all of, but he almost went player by player or position by position and gave about a 10-minute answer about what he likes and which player he likes in the Ole Miss defense. And I think that's what blew everybody away. It's a guy that's involved in every aspect, but is also a guy that can just recall specific stuff no matter what time of day or what time of the year about his current roster. And I think that was something that was lacking previously, if you will.
All right, so I'll be interested to see what you say here on whether it's Perkins or someone else, because you got several to pick from, especially with that defensive line. And, of course, you can move Perkins around in like 5 different positions. Who's the most dominant defensive player going into 2026 for Pete Golding and the Ole Miss Rebels?
Yeah, I think the easy answer is, like you said, either Perkins or Will Eccles, just because they've been in the offense or the defense and they've been dominant in this system. But once games get played, don't be surprised if one of these transfers is equally dominant or breaks out. Everybody's kind of looking at Blake Purchase, Jonathan Maldonado, 2 defensive ends that are there with Cam Franklin now, who also, don't forget Cam Franklin. I think he takes a big step. But then you got the linebackers and Lou Ferrelli and Keaton Thomas, who the one thing that stuck out with me when Pete gave that long defensive answer is he compared Keaton Thomas to a Pooh Paul, which I think everybody knows they could have used last year on that defense and how good he was his 1 year in Oxford. So he's high on a lot of these transfers. But, if you made me pick right now, I'd have to go with, a Cam or a Will or a Perkins, just because I've seen what they can do in this defense. But I won't be surprised if it ends the answer somebody else by December.
He is Jake Thompson, Ole Miss insider on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. The show is driven by your next GMC Sierra truck at Fowler GMC, Pearl Brandon. All right. Did we hit enough here? I got one more question on the backup quarterback. Are you still – so you brought back a player who had been there for a while and his dad played at LSU, and then you brought in Deuce Knight, who is from Mississippi and signed with Derek Nix and Hugh Freeze, and we know what happened there. So who's the backup? If, God forbid, something happens to Trinidad, who's the number 1 dude?
I think it's Deuce, but I think it eventually will be Deuce once he just gets more, gets his sea legs under him. And I don't know how well the spring went. We just did not get to see a lot of actual one-on-one or scrimmaging, if it were, with the way Pete let us out there, which, hey, that's his prerogative. But because I think Walker was brought in for different reasons, good reasons, but not specifically to be QB2, because you had brought in Deuce Knight. You don't go move heaven and earth to get Deuce Knight in here when you still know Trinidad's the guy if you don't think he's going to be your backup. I just don't see Deuce making that move to be QB3 and once again sitting and waiting until next year to fight for that spot. So I think it's Deuce. And I think he brought Walker in as just kind of another veteran. He knows this offense. He knows John David Baker. He knows the system. And he can get in there, and he can also help Trinidad catch up. And that's the one thing Trinidad said is, different terminology. Same stuff, but the words are different. It might mean a little bit different than what Charlie Weiss did. But so it helps to just have another guy in the room, because that room was very sparse after Austin transferred him. And he just didn't have a lot of experience, even with Trinidad coming back. So it didn't hurt to bring Walker back, because I think he's got other items on his list for why he came. But, yeah, I think Deuce Knight is your QB2, unless he just totally has a very bad fall camp, which, anything's possible.
Sure. All right, out of bounds, 105.9 The Zone ESPN. He is Jake Thompson talking Ole Miss football. So they brought back Terrence Metcalf. That's been an asset. They hired Dante Moncrief. Fantastic wide receiver, played a long time, decade or so in the NFL. Kelvin Bolden, you talking about a dude. He was there, then went to LSU. Lane didn't like that. So when Lane got the LSU job, there wasn't a spot. He goes back, joins Pete Golding. They got Frank Wilson. You all know about Frank. We've been talking about him for 20 years. And then Austin Thomas was Lane's GM in Ole Miss, left to go to LSU. Actually, he'd been at LSU even prior to that, and now he's back as Pete Golding's GM. Did y'all follow that? That was kind of like a Rubik's Cube. Jake Thompson on 105.9 The Zone ESPN. So the Rebel Road Tour was in Dallas, Texas last night, Jake?
Yeah, they do Dallas tonight, I think, or last night, sorry, and then Pascagoula tomorrow night.
Okay.
So that they're doing like 6 and like 2 a week. And next week, Pete's going to be, living off whatever energy drink he has, because I think it's Jackson next Wednesday or Tuesday. Then the next morning, he's flying to Tampa to see us in media days. And then I'm sure heading back that afternoon like they always do. And then that next night, he's in Memphis for the final stop. So next week's going to be a lot of questions, handshaking, and probably sleepless nights for him.
Okay, so Rebel Road Tour goes to Jackson and Memphis next week. And, of course, Pete will have his day like all the coaches next week in Tampa for SEC Media Days. All right, let's go to Ole Miss baseball. I guess you weren't surprised that Townsend and Ray went first round?
No, I'm not. I think everybody was, maybe foolishly, and for good reason. If you're an Ole Miss fan, you'd love for them to somehow not have been taken, but that was never going to happen. I'm surprised in a good way, for Taylor with how well he played to shoot himself up and to become a first round pick up there with Cade. A lot of people had Taylor suddenly going before Cade, but some didn't. And then what happened was Cade went first and Taylor, I think 3 spots later, something like that. But no, I think it's just a testament as you look at the whole slew of guys drafted. It was 1 position player and 7 pitchers of current players that were taken. And I think everybody knows what Joel Mangum's done, coming to Ole Miss and turning that pitching staff around. And the cupboard's bare, but that's why they were so heavy pitching-wise in the portal, because they knew the Cades, the Taylors, the Hudsons were all going to end up getting taken, and Will Leonard as well, who I believe signed with the Braves, so he's gone. I think everybody drafted is going to be signed and gone. So it's an empty one, but that our Saturday got started with good news, probably not totally surprising news, but getting Hunter Elliott back because he was granted another year, at the start of this past season, basically getting his 2023 back when he got hurt that year right after the World Series win. So you do have one veteran guy on the weekend, but now it's who's going to be that starter or those other 2 starters with him, which I think this might be the more interesting fall practice for baseball in terms of the pitching, in terms, just to see who they're using and who's going where.
Yeah. So Hunter is a phenomenal college player. Is it just there's not a path for MLB, and so it just made sense, I guess, to take a 6-figure deal and come back and know that you'll be a weekend starter? Was that the deal, Jake?
I guess because the year after, or the first time he was eligible for the draft, he got drafted, I think, by the Dodgers in that last round, and opted to come back. I think that was more of a, hey, what's my rate right now, or what's my value, and then kind of use that. Because if you got extra years, players got the leverage if you're able to say, hey, I can come back, especially like you said in the NIL era where you're going to make a decent chunk of change. If you're a decent, top pitcher in baseball,
sure.
You're gonna have options. But I'm just surprised. Me personally, I have not spoken or talked to anybody. This is just me rattling in my head. Surprised that he opted to withdraw his name, unless he was just getting total feedback that it was going to be a 18, 19, 20 round again, which have no slot values.
Right.
And what teams are able to give to those round picks is probably at least equal to what Hunter could get, if not more here. So I think that is it. And I just, we'll see. Maybe he pitches next year, does well, and then tries it again. But he's going to be that, it's going to be like Dennis Quaid and a rookie at this point by the time he gets to the pros. But,
yeah.
The kid just loves college ball, and obviously Ole Miss isn't going to tell him no.
No. Left-hander with all those starts and the production that he's had. How much do you think he got paid? Do you know?
Baseball NIL is a mystery to me. I have not mastered that one. I don't think the numbers are obviously as large as people might think, but I would assume it is probably double or more what he would have gotten if he had stayed and been a late round pick in the pros. So I'm sure he's making the right decision. His family is just 50 minutes down the road, so he's get to stay home again and give it a go. And I know last year didn't go well for him because the rumbling started at the end of the year. Should he be off Fridays? What will happen this year if he does come back? So I think he wants to, prove it to himself and probably prove it to the scouts that sit in Swayze and watch him next year.
All right, Dom Decker, were you surprised he's coming back?
No, I wasn't. I was surprised he didn't get picked. I was surprised more position players didn't get picked for Ole Miss. Now, I know everybody's like, well, the offense was bad, but there is another part of your game, and that is the field. And I know Ole Miss was kind of error prone, but there were guys that, I mean, you look at the 500, 600, however many picks it is, and these teams take flyers on any kind of player. I was just surprised that the Unamarks, the Furnaces, the Besettas, and even a Decker just never got their name called at all. But for Decker, obviously made his decision much easier, and he's back, which I thought that would be the option for him to come back. Even if he got picked late, he'd probably still lean kind of for the same reasons as Hunter. But you got him, you got Hayden Federico, you got Owen Pano. You don't have a lot of guys returning, but you got a core of guys that are all older, veteran guys, and you've got to kind of build around it, either out of whatever your high school class looks like, how they perform, or what they still might find in the portal. Because I think they still need another bat or two in the portal with whatever's left. You know, obviously all these kids that got drafted got decisions to make.
Right. All right. I think we hit most everything we needed for today. When are you going to Tampa?
I'm heading down Saturday, cutting the drive in half, and then getting there Sunday night, and then I'm there for the week.
Oh, wow. You're going to do the whole – there was a steakhouse I went to a couple of years. It's like known as their best steakhouse. It's been there forever. I got to text one of my buddies, figure out where I went, and then I'll text you. Have a good trip, my man. We'll talk when you get back, okay?
Awesome. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good one.
All right, bud. Jake Thompson, Ole Miss Spirit, Ole Miss Insider on the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. You kind of wonder why other programs don't make hires like Terrence Metcalf, Dante Moncrief, Kelvin Bolden. I mean, those are guys they give you a lot of juice and electricity on the recruiting trail. Terrence Metcalf from Clarksdale. Dante Moncrief from Raleigh, Mississippi. I can't remember where Kelvin Bolden's from, but he played at Southern Miss. But Ole Miss, once again, goes and gets a dude recruiter and gets him in their system. They did it with Derek Nix for 15 years, who was a star tailback at Southern Miss, and gave them a lot of juice on the recruiting trail. And now Kelvin Bolden also in that mix. So next week, Ole Miss will be in Jackson for their Rebel Road Tour. They'll be in Memphis, and then they'll spend the day flying down and back with Pete doing the car wash, so to speak, of SEC Media Days in Tampa, Florida. Your man, our man, Jake Thompson, will be down. That man's willing to sleep in a car to give you the latest on Ole Miss football. He joined us on the Farm Bureau Insurance Guest Line. Thank you, Brad. Bolden's from the coast, okay? We are the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. I know he wanted to go to Mississippi State out of high school, and I can't remember who the coach was at that time, but they didn't take him. We're powered by Superior Foundation for all your foundation repairs, superior.ms. My man, Buddy, says it's Burn Steakhouse. I think he's right. I'm going to have to look it up here during the break. Totally old style. Looks like it's 60 years old. Had a blast, though, there the night that I went. We'll be back in a second, and the show is also brought to you by the mac and cheese at Burgers Blues Barbecue, Dogwood, Flowwood.
WRKS Pickens Jackson.
All systems go.
Live from the Whiskey 61 Lounge inside the Bank Plus studio.
This is Now I Want It.
Live in the studio. It's the Out of Bounds Show with Bo Bounds. Streaming live worldwide on the Out of Bounds radio app. And on your radio at ESPN 105.9. All set? Let's go. The Zone.
Oh, wow. All right.
I'm good, Bo Bounce.
Me too.
I'm good, Bo Bounce. Bo Bounce. Bo Bounce. Bo Bounce.
Out of Bounds, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. We're on YouTube. We would love for you to subscribe. Jackson Meadows has over 1,000 hours in the YouTube channel. Out of Bounds Sports. We're live right now. You can see Juice Kiffin on the set. And, I noticed that yesterday when I was watching one of the videos that Whiskey 61 hat was not exactly where I wanted it. But we've got the Shall Like It. May have a little too much stuff on there. But I think we've got a Mike Leach signed football there all the way over there on the left side, I think. I'm not giving that away. If he was still alive, I would. But I'm not giving that away. I got a couple other things back there from when Leach was in studio that he signed, but can't give any of that away anymore. That's a treasure. All right. We would like to hear from you. I'm about to tell you about a really cool wine dinner at Taste Italian Kitchen. But first, the Dancing Rabbit Golf text line is 601-885-3776. You can find us on X at Bo Bounds. I just tweeted to Wally Cummins, Chef Wally Cummins. He's one of the 4 to 6 chefs that we have as far as our in residence chefs for the Out of Bounds show. Wally will be cooking for us soon, and he's blown up on TikTok. He's got, it's unbelievable, just insane. And so he cooks, talks about it, so on. And what was my point in that? He needs to cook for us. Find us on X at Bo Bounds. I just tweeted to Wally Cummins to put pressure on him. Now I'm saying it on the air. It's time to cook some burgers and bring them in studio so that we can have a burger feast. Maybe with Bar 2 next week. Bar 2 gets here at 9 o'clock in the morning. We'll get him over here from the airport by 10, hopefully. And then we'll do a show after our show just on YouTube. And then we'll book it to Pearl River Resort on Tuesday, do an afternoon show just on YouTube, and then a big Wednesday morning SEC Media Day show from Pearl River Resort with Diamond Dave Bar 2, Matrix Analytical. And he is on a roll. He sent me 47 graphics last night. It's like a total dissertation trying to unpack that. I will tell you, he's got Jeff Levy ranked 129th out of 132 coaches. We'll hit all that next week. John Summerall, Pete Golding. It's tough to get any read on Golding because you don't know. It's totally unknown, to be determined, right? But he's got numbers on Alex Golish at Auburn, Lane at LSU, DeBoer, Elko, Beamer, Silverfield. Again, I think the biggest improvement from the team this year in the SEC will be Florida. So we'll see how that looks. Now, y'all know we love good food. I love local food. We love dive bars. We love fantastic restaurants. And we love all kinds of different food. And I love vino if you've listened to the show. So Taste Italian Kitchen is doing back-to-back wine dinners with Orrin Swift, which is a hell of a winemaker. And so let me give you the lineup. They're doing one on Monday in Starkville at Taste Italian Kitchen, Orrin Swift wine dinner, and one on Tuesday in Ridgeland, Orrin Swift wine dinner. I'll run through it here. You've got a seafood salad with a blank stare Sauvignon Blanc. Sounds fabulous. You got a wild mushroom risotto, which I'm all in, with a mannequin Chardonnay. You've got wild boar ragu. Are you kidding me? 8 years in the desert Zinfandel blend. I'm all about that. That sounds ridiculous. Good grief. Then you've got a beef braciole with marinara, parmesan, and polenta. How about this pairing from Orange Swift? A machete, petite Syrah, and Grenache. If you listen to the show, those are three of my favorite grapes. Maybe my three most favorite grapes. So that's a blend. That sounds heaven and like it's going to have some body to it. And that beef braciole, I'm in. And then steak Florentine. I mean, how about this dinner? Are you ready to roll? I mean, you're either in and you're ready for SEC football and you're locked in and you're in the arena, or you're not. Steak Florentine is a Mercury Head Cabernet Sauvignon. That's going to be a big boy wine with some, which I'm all about. So that's the lineup at Taste Italian Kitchen in Starkville on Monday and in Ridgeland on Tuesday. TasteItalianKitchen.com. TasteItalianKitchen.com for more information. Or follow them on Facebook and Instagram. They're posting about this all the time. That's a heck of a lineup of fabulous food and absolutely delicious wine. Grab another couple. Have a great night. Celebrate local restaurant at Taste Italian Kitchen. Orange Swift Wine Dinner Monday and Tuesday. Oh, their sommelier will be in studio tomorrow. Just thought about it. And we're going to drink some wine. I don't know what she's bringing, but I've known Bobby for years. She's insanely talented. I met her 10 years ago, I guess, at Restaurant Tyler. And then I've seen her at some wine dinners around the state. She's very, very knowledgeable. And so Chef Craig and the crew bring her in. She is now and they're rolling out more restaurants. And she's the sommelier, which is great. And she'll be in studio tomorrow. And we'll talk a little wine and food. I don't know about you, but I love local food. And this show has been built on, having meals together and sharing them and then enjoying family, friendship, and sports, which I think is just this. I may not have made any money, but we've had some amazing experiences the last 20 plus years. God, I've had amazing dinners coast to coast with fascinating people, which is really, really, really cool. Does it get any better than a 2-hour dinner, possibly 3, with family and friends? And just, isn't that what they've been doing since the beginning of time? Breaking bread with interesting, fascinating people, which stimulates the brain and the senses, which then gives you great conversations and experiences. Hell yes, I'm in. So anyway, she'll be in studio tomorrow. We'll sip on some wine and we'll talk good food at Taste and their Orange Swift wine dinner, which is right up my alley. Risotto, wild mushroom. Let's go. I'm in. TasteItalianKitchen.com. Jackson Meadows is now starving. He's been nodding his head the whole time. I'm hungry. He's hungry. We're hungry. Let's all be hungry together. And go to a local place for lunch today. I love you. All right. Man, Jake Thompson was good. Ole Miss Insider. We talked Terrence Metcalf. I can remember when Tuberville beat out Sherrill. And Sherrill won a lot of battles, but Tuberville beat out Sherrill for Metcalf. Clarksdale, Mississippi. They both had some players out of Clark. Mario Hagan. Damnations for Mississippi State linebacker crew. You need a Mario Hagan. You talking about a player. He wasn't fast, but that guy was always around the ball. Crazy. Jerry Rice never broke a sub 4.6 40, but was always running past people. I don't understand. We get all into 4.38 40s. Back in a second. Oh, wow. Good morning. Out of bounds. Jackson Meadows is wearing the Tito's hat. I like it. That's one of the they have good-looking stuff left and right. In fact, those two hats go to listeners over there on the right. Those are cool looking. I love that patch, but you got a good-looking one on, too. You like that lid, don't you?
Oh yeah, I really like the lid. I mean, it's got that weatherproofed material that dry fits.
That's right.
It's just that nice.
Well, with all the working out that you're doing,
right, I sweat.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm putting the work in.
You are,
and
that's brought to you by Grit Fitness and Training. You're still supposed to go do something there. I don't remember what Mandy and I were talking about, but you don't even have to do a full workout. Even if you would just do like 15 or 20 minutes.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw up by minute 8.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be great. Grit
Fitness and Training, Lakeland Drive. Indoor batting cages. Hello.
There we go.
Baseball, softball. World Series champ Jay Powell, Director of Baseball Operations. Monthly memberships. They do all the classes. Mandy does a great job. Grit Fitness and Training, Flowwood, Lakeland Drive. Right behind Ergon Mirror Lake. Or just about. You know where I'm talking about, though, because Flowwood's pretty big. And so Grit Fitness and Training, where Jake Mangum, a guy named Connor Griffin, and JT Ginn and Tanner Allen, among others, work out. They've totally renovated the facility. Indoor turf, indoor pitching mounds, indoor batting cages, plus outdoor turf, da-da-da-da-da. And then they got all the classes. And I've been in there when Connor Griffin was working out, and that dude is locked in. And, Jay Powell made the comment that when Jake Mangum goes in to Grit Fitness and Training there is no off season, but when he's here, he's locked in.
Yeah.
He's not there to visit.
Nah.
He's there to train. So
you think Jay may throw me like some BP or something?
Yes.
You think I take him yard?
No.
Okay. You think I can hit it?
Yes.
I know.
I think you can make contact. I don't know about how many line drives you're going to get.
Close your eyes and swing.
I mean, Jay has been working out.
Oh, that dude's huge. He's jacked. I don't want any problem with
He's
him.
not only director of baseball ops at Grit Fitness and Training, he's been working out.
Looks like the strength and conditioning coach. Dude's big.
No doubt.
I don't know how he got it, man. I knew he was tall, but I didn't know he was swole.
I know.
Man, thick.
I know. The MSU baseball players better get after it in the weight room from now through February, because Jay is the MSU baseball color analyst too.
That's right.
Well, he's also coaching some players right now up in the Cape.
Yeah.
So I've seen the pictures, and I don't know when Jay gets back from the Cape, but I know he enjoyed it the last couple of years. Up there like 4 to 6 weeks or something.
That's a minute.
Where did I want to go with this? Oh, guys trips. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So you got bachelor parties, and then you got guys trips. Yeah. All right. And a lot of bachelor parties are a ton of fun. Guys trips should be great, right? But what happens when you have the guy that never cleans up? Like when you go on the guys trips. All right. What about selective tab guy? Picks up the check sometimes strategically when it makes him look good. One thing you can't have is split checks guy. You just got to throw cards. You're on a guy's trip, you throw. Now, if someone at the table is ordering a bunch of Orange Swift wine or a bunch of big wine, first of all, that person should know I'm getting the wine. Yeah. If you're drinking most of it, right? Or if you're at the table and you're not drinking wine, there's a little bit different thing. Sure. But 90-something% of the time, you're just throwing cards, right? That's the deal.
Should be.
What about the elite moocher? Never pays, always has an excuse, somehow still invited. Do you know a guy like that?
I know a bunch of them.
Okay. Elite moocher.
Yeah.
That's not what you want to be.
No.
All right, we're talking guys trips and bachelor parties. All right, what about this? Kicks in extra guy. That's the unsung hero who throws in extra every single
Love it.
guy strip.
Love it.
Kick in extra guy. He's the foxhole guy.
Yeah.
He's the guy. And then you have the guy every now and then who just picks up the whole check.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had a Christmas get together, and I don't know how many of us it was, 8, 9, 10. Dude didn't even say anything. Now this is elite stuff. Picked up the tab. I mean, it was, I don't know what it was. $2,000, way out of my budget.
Well, I mean, all right. So I guess this is the question I have: is at what point do you have like that friend that's done really, 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 really well?
This guy's made a fortune and also enjoys buying dinner for his friends every now and then.
See, I mean, when it's like that, I mean, that guy's picking up the check. There's no splits.
No, and
Not
he,
that he
and
should
he
do it
did
every
it,
time.
and he was cool,
Right.
and everybody just said thank you and moved on, and that's all he wanted.
And that's it. That's the way it should be.
Yeah.
Now, if you get to like big time money, you should pay for all of them. I'm talking big time money.
Okay.
Like, I mean, if you got it like that,
Yeah.
and your homies, I mean, you got to feed the homies.
I'm with you.
Okay, all right.
I'm with you.
I don't know what that number is, but
That's a great.
probably
It's different
arbitrary,
for
right?
everybody.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Everybody's number is different, as it should be. Text us. Are you the moocher, or do you know one? On the Dancing Rabbit Golf text line. If I get a good story, you're winning a swag bag.
Yeah.
If I get a good story, you are winning a swag bag. I'll give away 2, 3, 4, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. We've got so much Espolón tequila stuff. It's insane. But are you the moocher, or do you know one? 601-885-3776. Or you can rate yourself from 1 to 10 on the split checks guy scale.
Yeah.
All right. Or you can describe yourself. You can text in your own guy archetype.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
I
Like
like that.
here's who I am, but here's who maybe someone else in the group is.
Right. I mean,
Okay.
The moocher, he may facilitate a few of those roles.
That's a good point,
He
Jay
could
Meadows.
be a blend.
That's right. He's versatile sometimes.
Highly.
Not in a good way,
Right.
but he's versatile.
Highly.
Yeah, the elite moocher.
They know how to mooch.
Yeah. Now, if you've got an elite moocher, but they do a lot of other things,
Oh, they got to overcompensate elsewhere.
there's something like they know, so they cook. Let's say you cook
Okay,
one night.
yeah.
You cook a bunch of steaks and
And he-
lobster, whatever the hell you're doing,
Yeah.
guys trip. Let's say he cleans up every day
Every day.
on the trip.
All right. I can get behind that.
I can too.
That's different.
I can
That's
too.
something I was going to pay for.
Because some people have to be scholarshiped for whatever reason,
Sure.
especially if you love them
Yeah.
and they love the group back and they do things like that.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Keeps you in
I mean, they're the
group.
guy that packs the cooler.
Yes.
Just
Which-
the little for as you get older, little things go
Oh.
a long, long way.
I mean, you talk about an
Or the guy
integral-
that's making Bloody Marys on Saturday morning. Hey, I'll take care of it. I'm gonna do the
Right.
bacon. I'm gonna get the pickled okra and the pickled green beans.
See,
I'm gonna have the Tito's Bloody Mary bar for everybody. We got game day on. I want to do this for good.
they carve themselves out a niche. And then they hit it.
Right.
And then they stay.
Right. Then they cook
Crazy.
you like ridiculous wings or something late in the afternoon on the third or fourth game of the day.
Integral.
Right. I want to hear from you on the Dancing Rabbit Golf text line 601-885-3776. The Out of Bounds Show is brought to you by the Wings and ice cold Stella Artois at Martin's in Livingston. Joseph Stodgel, we need some wings in studio, brother. We'll be back in a second.
If you're smart, you go get somebody that's 300 pounds that smell like bacon that's ready to come out the end because we need defensive linemen.
We are the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Summer fun, summer loving. Talking 2026, SEC football, mixing in guys' trips, bachelor parties. Now we've got a good topic on the text line. Dancing Rabbit Golf text line 601-885-3776. So Diesel Golfer says, I'm at Backwater with my wife, kids, and brother-in-law a couple of weeks ago. Saw a childhood friend of mine, went over, talked to him and his family. He ordered us a drink, and I went to eat with my family. When I got ready for the check, the waitress told me, Chris got yours. It wasn't cheap either. He was already gone, but picked up the tab. He's a dude. Yeah, that is a dude move. Yes. No doubt. No doubt.
Happened
That's an elite dude move. Absolutely. Will H says, see, I'm an elite moocher, but for the benefit of everyone. When we're on the trip, we're getting something at a discount. Free. Something. I mean, I'm such a mooch. I'm sitting at work texting the radio station trying to get something free. Nothing wrong with that.
Good point.
Hey, Bo, I have a group of friends that everyone you described, there's at least one of each that you have described in the group. I'm normally the pick up the tab guy or pay half the tab guy. But the moocher always comes in and eats a lot, but also tells the most lies.
No doubt.
It's pretty good.
But he's usually an entertainer.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Okay. Yeah, so this all stemmed from, I mean, it's a big time of year for guys' trips.
Oh, yeah.
I know it's year-round, but this is a big time of year for guys' trips.
Yeah.
And we're going on ours, week 0. We've been doing it in October. I like that better, but couldn't figure out the schedule, which is rare, but week 0 will be fine. It'll be hot as hell, but, I mean, cocktails and good food and lots of war stories from a bunch of guys who've been together since first grade. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And like I said, we've never done anything on the trip, and I'm very proud of that. There's not been one round of golf, one tennis match, or one pickleball game. I don't even know if we've done anything out on the beach with like a paddleball. I think through that. We have 2 guys, Chad and Jeff, that I think they would be the most prone to do something.
Okay.
They're more games guys. They play golf. Norris plays a ton of tennis, but they seem to be just fine when we get there and we just walk out to the beach and get under the umbrella and
boom,
everybody's having their cold beverage of choice. But yeah, we had to move it up to week 0. There's actually some Power 4 games.
Yes.
It's not bad. I mean, hell, several will have some action on the games and so on and so forth. But this started with guys' trips, kind of bachelor parties, but the never clean up guy, selective tab guy, the guy that, short arm can't go back to the back pocket or the front pocket to get the wallet. Split checks guy. Let me see the bill. Let's break it down. Come on. Here we go.
I'll split it.
I think I had some lettuce and a side of mushrooms. What the hell are we doing here? We're at a steakhouse. We just ran up a tab for $2,400.
Yeah, he ain't coming back.
All right. I don't have any of those dudes, by the way. Isn't that crazy? We do not have an elite moocher in our group.
That is pretty convenient.
Not even close.
It's convenient.
Nobody can. People are grabbing stuff, paying for, okay, I'll get whatever. The elite moocher, that's another one. And then kicks in extra guy. That's the guy who picks up the tab and or covers a large chunk of it. So let's go back to the Dancing Rabbit golf text line. Bo, slightly different topic, destination weddings. Okay, we've all been invited to those. All right. and it's even more so now than when I was.
Right.
It's been too long since I was young. We actually had normal weddings, basically from Atlanta to Dallas. Now people are going to, St. Lucia. Y'all are nuts.
Yep.
But anyway, slightly different. All right, so destination weddings. You're invited out of the country. All right, so who covers what? Hotel, flight, etc. You're in the wedding. Okay, so if you're in the wedding,
that's way different.
and it's out of the country, you're dealing with one or both families have resources.
Yeah.
So I would think everything's picked up, except possibly your airfare. All right. So I'd be good with that. I mean, you got it. If they're going to put you up and feed you the whole time,
That's fine.
great. I'll pay for the flight. Or you just don't need to go.
Right.
Now, some are going to pick up everything. Okay, fine. But I don't think if you're in it, you're going to pay for everything. You're not going to pay for your flight, your lodging, and
No way.
food and booze, other than the wedding. Now, the one thing when you go in, you've got several different things going on where the food and booze is taken care of.
Sure.
Night before, day of, whatever. I mean, hell, I thought it was a big deal in 1996 when a buddy of mine got married. And they rented out a steakhouse for lunch, one of the
Let's go.
most preeminent steakhouses in the metro area, for lunch
Let's go.
for 40 people.
Dang.
I was like, that's big living.
That is.
Okay. That's a different, I mean, we're having cocktails and wine and at noon. I mean, I know people do that on wedding weekends, but at a steakhouse, they rent out the whole steakhouse.
It's pretty tight.
Yeah. I mean, that's a bill.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a bill.
It's going to run you up.
Lee Dog says, my buddy is the I got to go to the bathroom right before the check comes guy.
Yeah. Hate that.
Yeah. That's,
I'll leave it
sometimes
right
that guy's got to get cut eventually.
Yeah.
But I mean, sometimes it's just the guy that can somehow be that guy for the whole long run of guys, trips, and friendships.
Yeah.
Drug Dog, here's my story. Miss Drug Dog and I like to go to McBee's frequently. Occasionally, one of her students' parents will see her at McBee's. Almost all the time, they will pick up our tab without us knowing. Very cool move by the parents. Yeah, that's cool. That is cool.
That is.
And they may be trying to get a bump in grades. And I'm okay with that.
Give me the bump.
It's just like recruiting, under the table money. You know?
You got to get influence somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, you have an 88 and all of a sudden your kid's got a 92.
Boom.
Wow. You know?
B doing A.
Right?
I think that's how
Weren't
they do it.
you were a star student? No, what was it called? Star what?
No, I was a Clarion Ledger Star student.
Clarion Ledger Star student. Was that your junior or senior year?
Senior year.
Okay.
Top 12 in the state.
Okay.
One of only 12.
4.0?
No. We were 3.7-ish in high school, 3.3 in college, something like that.
All right, so you had a 3.7 GPA in high school.
Yeah.
Is this the combo of Clinton and Mount Salus?
Yeah.
Okay. Were you named this at Clinton or Mount Salus?
Mount Salus.
Okay.
Would have never gotten into Clinton.
Oh. And you were a Clarion Ledger Star student. Do they still do that?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I'd like to know if any of our listeners were a Clarion Ledger Star student or your kid. The text line 601-885-3776. How'd you find out?
I was told one of my school counselors, she told me. It's the one that helped me get in after the whoopsie.
Okay.
That's what we'll call it.
All right. So how many weeks in your senior year did you go? From Clinton to Mount Salus?
2, 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good deal.
Transformed
in Clinton,
the school, baby.
you transformed the school. With Clinton, how many people did you have in your grade roughly? Just give or take.
3-ish.
300 plus?
Yeah.
How many people did you have in your grade at Mount Salus?
Outside of the people who came over for undisclosed reasons, 16.
Okay. Was that just wild?
It's absurd.
To be in a place with 300 plus students in a grade, moving class to class. So the buildings, full, hallways and stuff are full.
Right.
To going to a school with 16 kids that graduate.
Yeah, our teachers moved class. They would just switch out.
Yeah.
I mean, and then, we also had a trailer we were in for homeroom. We rented out a church. It was a lot different A lot different. That's a 6A public or 7A public now to a single A private school.
Right.
Big difference.
Right.
Should have gotten kicked out a lot earlier.
Because you liked it.
Loved it.
Okay.
Loved it. Had everything I needed from public school, which I'm a firm believer in public schools.
Sure.
I think they help a lot.
I like
growing
both.
up.
I'm a believer in public schools. I'm a believer in MAIS.
No doubt.
And I'm a believer in choice.
Yes. Very much so.
You want to send your kids to a private school?
Had
Great.
it.
Public school? Great. I'm for all the other hybrids too.
Yeah, I mean that's it was and then the sports were
So you were a
easy.
Clarion Ledger star student with a 3.7 GPA.
Of course.
Okay.
Didn't need a 4. That's where the sports and all the accolades kicked in.
Okay. So you didn't have to have a 4.0.
No.
Okay. It wasn't that like the counselor that you're talking about who took the call.
Nah.
It's not like she lobbied to get the criteria changed for you.
No, I just think she lobbied to get me the award.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Well, that's
heck
what they're
yeah,
there for.
Exactly.
Those that are doing a good job as
That's right.
counselors or whatever you call them are lobbying for their kids.
Should be. Kinda makes sense, right?
100,000%.
What you should be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
There were like 12 of us. Yeah. Actually, we ended up putting 2 from Mount Salix in there.
Really?
Yeah. The other one had 4.15, and he was real smart. Top of his class in Mississippi State chemical engineering.
Yeah, I only walked through
Different.
the chemical engineering building to go to the restroom.
I had no idea what it was.
I knew there was no way, and I have friends who are engineers,
Yes.
and they don't even know what a recession is, and they've moved away, but out of school, but they've done extraordinarily well coming out of the Bagley College of Engineering.
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
In that place.
I mean, when you get a biomedical engineering degree, nuclear engineering degree, aerospace, biochemical, chemicals, I mean, the ticket's written.
Yeah.
In fact, one guy just gave $20 million to Mississippi State. He was in school with me, and he's younger. It makes me think, damn, I haven't accomplished anything. But when you live in Dubai and Nashville,
Dang.
pretty good gig.
Probably doing something right.
What did he do? He exited an energy company. Boom.
Everybody gets rich off of exits.
Exits.
Where's my exit?
Well, we've got to figure it out.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I'll figure it out. It'll come to me.
And maybe it gets figured out on the guys trip.
Maybe I can mooch my way there.
Right. So do you put Elite Moocher on your LinkedIn account? Brad wants to know on the text line.
You gotta. I mean, it's because it's a negative. There's a negative connotation, but there could be there is. You could make it positive. You just got to do it right. You got to do it real right.
Okay.
You're gonna have to overcompensate. You're gonna have to clean. Clean.
No, the Elite Moocher has to be the number one cleaner in the group. We already established that.
That's just, and there's another task.
And there's
like
some
that I'm
other
missing.
things,
Yeah.
Like I said.
Cooler, you're right.
Yeah.
Carrying the cooler to the
Carrying
beach.
the cooler to the beach.
And probably back.
Setting up the Tito's Bloody Mary bar on the first morning. I mean, there's some things there.
I mean, if it's,
making dinner reservations.
Yes. And depending on if you're renting chairs or whatnot.
Oh, we rent chairs.
Hey, you should rent chairs.
I mean, I'm not.
God, pay the money and be done with that.
Exactly.
But if you don't, then that guy should be hauling all this stuff.
Don't even get me started.
Does the Elite Moocher, does he pitch in for where you're staying? Because, I mean.
Well, it depends on if a friend of yours has a spot. Right. And or if y'all all rent every year.
Right.
So this plays two different ways. Yeah, I mean, now that I think about it, my group is scholarshipped because one guy has a plane and one guy has a beach house.
Yeah, that didn't count. You're scholarshiped all the way
So
around.
I guess the other 4 of us are moochers. But
sure.
I don't know if we're elite moochers.
No.
I gotta think about that.
No,
I don't think so.
No, you're not.
But God, we've got a great setup. So that's a good question.
I mean, the guy. I mean, yeah.
Well, and what's the one where you go really out of all of them? Never cleans up guy, selective tab guy, split checks guy, elite moocher, and then of course kicks in extra guys Hall of Fame.
Splits check.
I agree.
Yeah, it's got
because I mean, no, you just don't want to do that.
No, and I'm not gonna. And if you do that, that will be my verbal. That's exactly what I'll say. Come on, man. What are we doing here?
Right.
Why? Don't do that. Because I mean, think about how much longer that takes for the servers while they sit there and divvy it up.
Well, think about how many times that's done at lunch every day around the country. You know, and
over a $30
look,
meal.
when I was at K Sarah before bartending, I was waiting tables.
Okay.
And that's a split checks lunch place.
No doubt.
Okay.
We're split.
And because people will just throw cards at night.
Right.
At dinner.
Sure.
At lunch, it's just a different vibe. When I tell you, you'd get a table for 8, and you're in hell because we were so busy.
Yeah.
There was no which was great. I don't want to be in a restaurant where you're sitting there, but I mean, starting at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., if not longer, every day. Of course, the cash was was staying, hopefully asking everybody to leave, getting cut, and staying and working from 1 to 5. You can pick up another, and this was good money in 1996. You could pick up another $300. But what's my point? Oh yeah, split checks at lunch. Talking about getting bogged down.
Oh my gosh!
Holy Mary
over some literally over like $9-12. Ridiculous. Sean has a good story on the text line.
Okay, is this on the guys trip
Yes.
with some high school teammates?
Yes.
All right. Dancing Rabbit Golf text line. Went on a guys trip with some high school classmates in our late 20s. About 8 of us. Flew out of Monroe, Louisiana to Vegas on Delta. Stayed at MGM Grand. Elite Moocher didn't pitch in. Even worse, I collected chips as souvenirs from a dozen or so casinos, which all casinos will take.
Right.
He took all those and cashed in from our room when we separated one night. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we're fighting at the MGM.
That guy's got to
we'll
be
fight.
out.
Yeah, just
There are elite moochers who can stay in and be scholarship because
Right.
they're just good dudes. And we mentioned all the other things that they could do on the trip.
Right.
What the hell is this?
Well,
This is unacceptable.
it is.
How do you look at yourself in the mirror?
There's only one way. Is if you go down there and put it on black and you hit.
But then you got to give your buddy, you got to make sure to give your
Oh,
buddy.
you got to get his profit.
Yeah.
It's probably a 70-30 split. You get 30.
No question.
Not your money.
No question about it.
I mean, then that's a very.
I've been
very
on
rare.
a roll lately of people picking up checks.
Nice.
It's been good for me. I have 2 kids, and well, Ella Hall's now out of college, but
Sure.
just out of college
Right.
in May. I've been on a roll,
I mean,
and I need it.
yeah.
I don't know what it is, but
good thing.
last week, the week before, and one other. So I've been doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, when my kids, now we go out to dinner, it's outrageous.
Right.
I-
Oh God.
It went from,
Like $5 a night. Easy. Is it that? No way. What are y'all
Dude.
eating?
dude, you don't understand.
I don't want to.
I tell you what, Washington, D.C., I mean, once everybody gets a drink and just an appetizer, you're at $400. I don't, it's crazy.
Yeah. It's high.
Yeah. I mean, cocktails, 1 round of cocktails and a couple appetizers. All right, we're at 400. All right, nobody else eats anything else. That's all you're getting. Let's see.
Long text. I like it.
Oh, I like where Ronnie's going. I don't know if we have enough time, but we got about 5 minutes. I'll switch gears on this. All right. Ronnie wants to get back into Mississippi State football on the Out of Bounds show. Bo Levy won't make it back after this season if improvement isn't made. Okay. But State will be in the same spot because they will never go all in. Well, there's a lot to unpack there. Levy is on the hot seat. I don't know what he has to win, 6 or 7. 6 is almost sad, but whatever. They'll make that decision on campus. I think you'll hemorrhage season ticket holders again if you do that. But there is a path to 6 and possibly 7. Again, there are several coaches that could get there with this roster. The all-in thing, that's a great. You were one of the schools that were slow to embrace NIL in the portal, and I could have predicted this, that Ole Miss would jump right on it. and that Mississippi State would pearl clutch. You're trying to make, and, your coach passed away. You're trying to make up for it. You've got almost $30 million in this roster this year. Levy's hired 80 people in the building. So you've got, it's not about staffing. It's not about money since he's gotten there. He had plenty year one. Indiana didn't have $8 million in their roster year one. Now, last year they had more, but they still went to the college football playoff year one under Signetti. Year two, obviously, they won the national championship. But as far as commitment, you are going to have to do a lot more. Not just I'm talking about just willpower commitment quotient. It's not just, but you've got the money, just like Arkansas and South Carolina and Kentucky and hell, Big 12 schools have the money. But yeah, you've missed on the commitment piece. The hire is an absolute head scratcher. Knowing what you knew, what had played out, that Moorhead hadn't worked, that Leach had died, that Arnett never had a chance, so that none of that was his fault. And then where you were, and you went right back to a Moorhead resume is crazy pills to me. I thought, I'm surprised he's there now. I think it's a disservice to your fan base, but also the fan base has to step up and raise hell. That's right. And want more. I think your bar's too low. I read Gene's page and Six Pack and shake my head. Too large a percentage of those posts are just passive and meh and okay and still making excuses. You got to be up and be a shrewd, bad MFer in this league if you want to win in football. You can either decide to be, or you can be 7-18 and 1-15. That's other schools would not have done this. No, they would have not have gone down this path. So I understand your frustration, and I can't read a lot of what the text have been the last few months from some Mississippi State fans. But I think you have to demand more, and you have to raise your expectations. And until you do that, then you're not going to get where you want to go. But you've got to demand that people be competent and locked in and do the things that are necessary on campus to give you a football program that you did enjoy under Mullen and bled through just because of the massive thing that he built into Moorhead and Leach.
At least appear to be doing that. You ain't even doing that. You're hiding.
Yeah. So
office.
Ole Miss Rebel Road Tour next week, Jackson and Memphis. They were in Dallas last night, and Jake Thompson was great on the show. You can find that on YouTube. Search Out of Bounds Sports, Jake Thompson, Ole Miss Insider Talk, Ole Miss football recruiting, and Ole Miss baseball NIL, portal and roster. So it's also on Spotify. Search Out of Bounds with Bo Bounds. Lunch today brought to you by the Wings. And let's go with the, bacon cheeseburger at Martin's in Livingston with a cold Stella Artois. Thanks for listening to the show. We'll see you tomorrow.